I really feel like there is a direct line from Miss McCormick, my favorite teacher in high school, who was my drama teacher, to me standing in front of you right now. And you can see that obviously there's some drama skills involved in the fact that I would stand up in front of a bunch of people or get online in front of a bunch of people. Okay. But Miss McCormick, she didn't like make a big deal out of it, but she just encouraged me and she nurtured me and she gave me some direction so I could go in a area that I could be successful. And I talked about how I participated in a part of speech competition called radio speaking, where you have to you're given some stories, some news stories, and you have to edit them into a 5-minute broadcast and then read it over a microphone. And I got to tell you that this was years before I ever even thought about going to journalism school. But Miss McCormick thought I could figure out how to synthesize stories into telling another story and then reading it aloud and putting it all together in 5 minutes, which is also very similar to what I do right now. I think you can use what you loved in high school to figure out something that you can say. So it may be that you may reference your high school career. You may not, but think about why you loved that subject or that teacher. What did they motivate in you? What was that experience? What was the extra work they gave you? What was the encouragement they gave you? Why did you love that? And that can help you tap into one of the most important things when you're out there selling yourself. And I mean that in a good way, like you're sharing so that you can have the career that you want that serves you and the world. So selling, not a bad word. So when you're out there, so one of the most important things is passion. Passion. And so what did you love when you were 16? You may still love today, and you may still be using it today. So back to my examples earlier, the priest who loved English lit, he doesn't particularly need to sell himself at this point, but if he were going to do that, it could be him talking about how he has been interpreting, studying literature, and sharing about it his whole life. Or the chemist, the pharmacist who, loved chemistry. And I'd love to take it back even earlier. Like, did you have a little junior chemistry set? My brother had one of those. A lot of kids did. I'd love to know more about that, because the best answer to the question, how long have you been doing this, is all my life. And that's what I dig for when I'm working with people, is that stuff that's in your DNA. Because if something's in your DNA, I mean, then like, who doesn't want to hire the person who's a natural at what you do, right? And that's what I always look for. Like, what's in your DNA? You may have gone to like the swankiest school and have degrees and have important, maybe career experience, but what do you live and breathe? Like, what's in you? Years ago, I worked with a professional organizer, and she wanted to know the answer to the question, how long have you been doing this? Because this was her third career, and she thought, well, I'm a newbie at this, and that means I don't have a lot of credibility. And we came up with that answer my whole life, because it turned out that when she was a kid, she used to reorganize the closets for fun. Like, this was way before Marie Kondo or any of that kind of like sparking joy. Like, just for fun, she would be like, Mom, can I organize the closets this weekend? Which admittedly, she says, was, part of her controlling her sort of crazy life. But at any rate, and the other answer we came up with for her is, and she has been successful in her previous 2 careers because of her organization skills. So you can tie back what you loved in high school, what your favorite teacher was all about, and how they helped you, to your passion, to what's in your DNA, and use that as a tool to just even consider what you want to talk about. You may or may not want to talk about high school specifically, but you can talk back to, I always have loved to do fill in the blank. I've always been interested in how these things go together. And so that is my advice for today. And that was really one of my very favorite and most fun things to talk about that I work with clients on, is figuring out what's in your DNA. And that is an awesome selling /sharing point. An awesome way to share about yourself. So I hope to see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who watch later, it's great to have you here. More tips to come. Okay, bye.